You know what I hate more than stupidity? It's stupidity that is on purpose, and I see this constantly with the rise of social media and gaming communities. And I'm just somebody who really likes video games. I'm a console gamer. I purchase every console since the beginning of consoles. But I read a lot about them because I'm a nerd like that. So I know the history of PlayStation, of Xbox, of Sega, of Nintendo, of Intellivision, ColecoVision. Pick a system. I could probably talk a little bit about each one of them. But in particular, I know quite a bit about Nintendo because they're, probably the last true gaming company when it comes to just being about creating entertainment. They have diversified into like theme parks and amiibos and plushie dolls and toys, and that's great because that's a feedback loop. You go to the theme park, you see Mario and the characters, then you go to the store, you buy the characters, the amiibos, the toys, the plushie dolls, the games are there, you want to play the games, the systems are there, you want to buy the systems. It's a perpetual loop of engagement, and it's what keeps Nintendo going. But I see people saying things that are just, and I'm trying to find better words, but just dumb. When it comes to the Switch 2 rumors. So let's go over what the Switch 2 rumors are. And these are not confirmed rumors. This is just what people have heard. So you're going to have 8 gigabytes of RAM. You're going to have 120 hertz screen, 64 gigs of storage. Essentially, it's a ×2 version of the original Switch. Now, there are some rumors about some fancy DLSS things and stuff like that to allow the resolution to look better while freeing up the CPU and GPU to do a bunch of things. This is not a technical channel. I'm not even going to get into that stuff because I'm very limited on that end. But when I see people talking about, well, it's not enough, 8 gigs isn't enough, it should be at least 12, it should be at least 16, Nintendo holds back the industry, I think to myself, the information is out there. The internet exists. You can go online and type in things like, why does Nintendo do what it does? Why isn't Nintendo worried about having the same specs as the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X? And the reason is because of somebody named Gunpei Yokoi, who created or helped create things like the D-pad that you use every day, the Game Boy, and his mission statement was lateral thinking with withered technology. Withered is not bad. It's referring to technology that has been tested, has been around a long time. And why is that important to Nintendo? Because one, it's cheap to manufacture. It's cheap to get those parts because they've been around a long time. Even if inflation is driving up costs for everyone else, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, AAA development through the roof, Zen 2, Zen 3, crazy prices. The prices for the withered technology, even though they've increased, are still well below what everyone else is spending for their system. So why does Nintendo do that? That's where the lateral thinking comes in. You get this proven technology that's old, that one is cheap, 2, developers can use very easily, which means that they're going to make tons of games for the system, but then you find a way to do something different with that technology. You think laterally. So you get things like a Game Boy, you get things like a Wii, you get things like a Switch. And they're consistently thinking about either how to do something different with the hardware or do something different in terms of how to create the hardware, keep the costs down, make sure that every generation, no matter what is happening in that generation, look at what's happening now. PlayStation 5, people are worried about AAA development costs. We're not going to get any more AAA games. I mean, you want everything. You want ray tracing, you want motion capture, you want a full script, full VO, voice acting, you want every graphical bell and whistles, you want it all, but you don't want to pay any more money than $70. Even that to some people is too much. Well, something's got to give, and Nintendo doesn't have to worry about that. They don't hold back the industry by doing something different. You're supposed to want 3 or 2 choices within an industry, within a generation, that are different. PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X are pretty similar when it comes to what you're getting inside the box. The difference is, how are they creating things to make those boxes different? Sony leveraged Mark Cerny and the SSD to give you a different experience. They created a brand new controller. They thought laterally when it came to the piece of hardware that is the controller. They give you a little bit different. Nintendo is completely different. So you're going to get a better Switch. Now, people might say, well, that means I'm not going to get any third-party games. Take a look at how anemic some people think the Switch is, right? 4 gigs of RAM. Switch 2, if the rumor is correct, you're getting double. But let's take the Switch, the original Switch, 4 gigs of RAM. Hogwarts Legacy, The Witcher 3. These are games that have no business running on a Switch, and yet they're there. Not the best version of that game, but when you're selling over 100 million consoles to people, third parties want to be there. So you're telling me that Hogwarts Legacy, which by the way was the #2 selling boxed copy in the UK, right behind the PlayStation 5 copy of Hogwarts Legacy, you're telling me that those games run on the Switch now, but double the RAM, you're not going to get some games in the PlayStation 5 generation, the Xbox Series X generation, that run on the Switch too? Of course you are. And what Nintendo is doing is making sure that no matter what happens in the industry, they're going to be able to always produce a piece of hardware that's going to sell to a lot of people. I'm not talking about people you talk to on social media every day, the group of people who agree with you. I'm talking about everybody else like me out there who goes into a store, sees something really cool, purchases it, and wants to play Mario, Zelda, Metroid, Animal Crossing, all of these games that are going to skew to that system, in addition to a little bit more power, double the power of the Switch, and some third-party games. Nintendo ensures that no matter what is happening within the industry, they're happening, and they're happening in a way that makes them money no matter what. That's what's important. That's why when I hear things like they're holding back the industry, Grand Theft Auto 6 is still happening despite the Switch, isn't it? All these other big games coming out, Stellar Blade, Rise of Ronin, Starfield happened, Forza happened. All of these games are happening. Metal Gear Solid Remake is coming out. The Silent Hill 2 remake is coming out. Tons of other IP that have yet to be announced are being worked on for the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X that might not make it to the Switch or the Switch 2. All of this is happening. They're not holding back anybody. What they're doing is making sure that anything that happens to hold back any of the major players in a generation does not affect them as much as it does the others. That's the Nintendo way. That's lateral thinking with withered technology. I can't wait for the Switch 2. I'm going to burp. Okay, I'm good. And I'm just curious as to what you think. Are you excited? I love a brand new console generation. I love the idea of a new Nintendo console or anybody's console being brand new at launch. I can't wait to get it, take it home, unwrap it, plug it into the television, and just sit there with the controller and play the launch games, experience something new for Nintendo, experience something new for PlayStation, experience something new for Xbox, and that experience should not be the same, folks. It just shouldn't. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thanks for watching the video. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.